What is up, everybody? This is Tico, also known as Richard, and I'm coming back to you with another game as the English. Focusing mainly on a new build. I am practicing in normal games. I actually have a tip. When you are going to play ranked, just play a normal game first. I found I make so many silly mistakes just getting used to play when you go into a game for the first time of a day. So it's better to just play a normal game and then just get your juices flowing before you go into ranked. Now we are going to focus on the strategy to go for a double town center. Okay. Now I played against this guy just the previous game. I made so many mistakes. I had villagers running around long distance like this, chopping for no reason. But the main primarily, I surrendered within a minute, and then requeued and got him again actually. So, trying to redeem myself. So scout on 3 and 4. This scout's on 1. Town center, scheme bound 2. First 4 villagers right here. Second one goes on to house. While because the gold is quite far, I sent the villager out immediately. Sometimes if the gold is a lot closer, like right here, then I like to have more on food and then send the gold one right after. So you can see we have the 200 wood, right? So first 4 villagers is right here on food, right? I have the 2 on gold. First other villager came out and started building a mill, and with these 4 villagers, you can see I did get my timing a little bit out with my scout, bringing those sheep back, but that's okay. And I want to get these 2 villagers up to 50 wood, and I'll show you why. Just keep an eye on the timer. You can cheese it by going with 5 villagers onto wood very early. But I found against most factions right now, French, Abbasid Dynasty, most factions that doesn't have an insane castle age timing. Like Holy Roman Empire, you have to be careful for on the timing push, and Delhi Sultanate is probably the biggest counter to the double town center strategy. Even though you outscale them later in the game, the double town center is maybe going to be the best play style for you as the English right now. Okay, so I have the sheep back. I'm still sitting on 5 villagers on sheep. You can see I'm sending more onto the sheep now. I have the double scouts out to get all these sheep in the back. I kind of pathed very badly with my second scout. Came to the back here, then up, then came across to see. Usually there's here in the middle or on this little hill some sheep, but I guess he also might have just picked up quite a few sheep because let's see where he's running around at. Scouts all the way back here and coming back with quite a decent amount. So I'm not fighting sheep because he found the sheep, obviously, from the 7 that you see right here, right? So we have 2 extra sheep right here. We have in the base. I find the hitboxes on these sheep and stuff so difficult. Look where I have to click to select them. I don't know why it's like that. A lot of times I click the villagers instead of the sheep, and then I reposition them madly. So now you can see he's under the mill here, getting the Imperial gold from the Imperial official. So if you had to push this and you isolate the gold, he still has the Imperial official that can gain tax from these 2 buildings that are quite safe. So it doesn't really make sense pushing with men-at-arms. I've even tried men-at-arms with a villager to get that outpost up on the gold to permanently isolate the gold. That's also quite nice. You can see this gold is quite far. We can defend that. But that's not the focus right here, right? So I want to get to 5 villagers on wood. I found going into castle age with 5 villagers that works very well for me, and then getting to a 8-8 split. So you can see I have more on food right now, but I was a little late on the aging up. I guess it's because of the little delay that I had here in the beginning, and me also having to practice transitioning in a dark age into farms, because you can see wheelbarrow is already done. 4 minutes 30, we are able to go for a council hall. I'm using my gold villagers to do that, and I'm gonna pull 2 food villagers to come and assist. Right there, you can see I'm sending more actually onto the food here. I actually thought I built this with 4 villagers. I'm sure I did. There's 3 villagers here. I'm trying. Oh, okay. What I was doing is I was waiting for the food to finish, or the wood actually to get enough. So I have all my farms in the influence. Uh, Placement of the mill is also very important because you can get 8 farms usually. If you position these two in the middle like this, instead of on the side, you get a 9th farm in, and because of that, these villagers, their running distance won't necessarily be to the mill, they'll be to the town center depending on what side of the farm they finish, but you can see the running distance there is less than what they are doing right here. So now we have 2 scouts, make sure you make use of them, so you can see he made use of 7 villagers, 8 villagers to actually push this Barbican up because he wanted to get his gold secure, wood line secure, and he can transition into some farms right here very, very safely with the support of the Barbican of the Sun and the town center. So a very good placement, I would say, of the Barbican. Doesn't really need to worry about the food here because he has the outpost. I would have said a single villager on stone would have given him the opportunity to go for hand cannon slits, which would just give him that extra protection in this specific position because he has a very stable, very safe position right now. And we did scout it out, as you can see. Basically just this corner we can't see, but we know exactly what's going on in his base. We have the scout at the back here. I always put my scout close and then press V to make him static so I can see exactly what I need to just outside of their range, because we have a little bit more range than they do with our scouts. I don't think it's more with the scout. I don't think we have more range than their scouts. Almost actually losing the scout, just surviving with 9 health there. But the main thing is, you can see now we have the 9 farms. Still moved completely away from the sheep. I finished the outpost, the council hall, then transitioned into a barracks. Okay, still no extra housing, and now I'm going on to stone. So I'm going on to stone 7 minutes, but what you have to understand, if you go bare with the Delhi Sultanate, I'm not sure about other factions, but you can see the resources that he has, even with, there's quite a few idle villagers here, but he's sitting on 600 food, we're on 600 food, so we're not really behind for a, what do you call it, a castle age, right? Regarding the resources, we are on par, if not a little bit in the lead, to go for a castle age timing push, right? So we have the Barbican, we have the, he's going for the Song Dynasty, which you can see if we go over to his view right here. Once he goes into Song Dynasty, he gets that villager production reduced by 35. But the reason why you don't want to do this with a single town center is because it is wasteful of the playstyle of the Chinese. You want to get the timing right. Like I said, if you had to get those villagers out here sooner, you would have had a lot more stone and you would have been able to go for a perfect Song Dynasty double town center push. I think there's a lot of value like in that as the Chinese, because what Beastie Cutie said, if you build a second town center, you actually want to place it quite aggressively, so maybe right here, right? Or even as far as on this hill with the town center. Because if you scout it out, you have to decide, am I investing resources to take out the town center, or am I going to invest in taking out the main base with the town center and the landmarks, right? Because you have to choose, it makes you capable of getting that timing a little bit better, so you actually have time to process or progress into a safer castle age, more resources, and being able to fight against them, right? So now we have our tech and town center going up quite late, in my opinion, on 9 minutes. I've done this in less than 5 minutes 50, but you can see I pulled all my gold villagers over to this because I already have the wood that I need. Transitioning to a second lumber camp, so less running distance. I am going to garrison. I think I'm garrisoned right now on the food. Let's check on the wood line. Okay, so I didn't transition more onto the sheep. You can see the sheep is still there. So I didn't even use my sheep, and that's the thing about the English right now in the Dark Age. You get the wheelbarrow upgrade. Firstly, with the plus 25% of the feudal, 20%, sorry, of the feudal age, you are getting a lot of food. You can see on the income per minute, just with 10 villagers on food, we are outscaling him by almost 200 food per minute, and he has 15 villagers on food. And we are still outscaling him. Oh, actually, that's his. My bad. He's outscaling us. So, yes, maybe a little bit more onto food, I guess. But the thing is, we have the double town center, and that's the priority here. I guess the best timing, I would say, this is a little bit overkill. If I transition maybe 6 of these villagers um, onto more farms, it would have been a better situation, in my opinion. So something I need to take note of is definitely this. But I was like, okay, cool. I'm in the feudal age. I don't trust the Song dynasty. I don't trust the fact that I have to compete against a Chinese player in imperial age or in castle age with very high units, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. What's the next best thing I would hate happen to me in this scenario? Think of yourself in the enemy's perspective, right? I know this is safe, but I also can apply a lot of pressure right now. So we know our upgrades that come through. So we have the +1 balance or the archer upgrade. And we have the barracks training men-at-arms at 15 seconds per men-at-arm very quickly. We did get the men-at-arms upgrade, the feudal age upgrade. And we have a very comfortable 42 villagers compared to him sitting on 41 villagers, right? So for a double town center, we are capable of taking bigger risks. And that's the main priority here. If I lose villagers, how quickly can I get the villagers back? How quickly can I get my army back? That's why also if you play into Imperial Age, don't just have this. You maybe want 6 barracks and 7 archery ranges and 3 siege workshops if you can afford them. You know, if you go into the late game, that's a better playstyle. But I was aiming for, if I was correct, I think 30 or 20 archers. To get 20 archers, because I know with 20 archers I will be able to overwhelm the Chukunu, which I am expecting. You can see he's actually not supervising yet, but he is massing up the Chukunu, which have no extra damage here. They do 4 damage, but remember they fire 3 I say 4 repeated crossbow. So is it 4 shots or 3 bursts? There you can see 3 burst attack, 4 damage per shot, so 12 damage in total on these guys. If you have quite a big mass of Chukunu, they will decimate men-at-arms. They will do really good, especially once you start getting your blacksmith upgrade, which he can afford because he's sitting on 1,000 gold, but he didn't put a blacksmith down. Just take note of that if you're playing the Chinese or any other faction in that matter. But 12 minutes is very late for most fights to happen. So we decided to go on, I guess, 17. The goal was I trained, how many men-at-arms is it? 7. I think I aimed for 10, but I was like, okay, I'm running out of time. Because if I'm able to go into a imperial or a castle age, I need to choose how I'm going to do that, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. This is my army. You can see my scouts. 1, just giving you guys a rundown again. Town centers on 2. Press F2 to select all your military, and I like binding and not 7. So if I press 7, I can train my units. I can rally them wherever I need to. Now I'm able to go into the castle age. I know he's also already in castle age because he went up with the Imperial Academy, which increases his gold income from the tax collectors. We can see how many tax collectors he has. He has 2. It's very fine for the amount of buildings that you have. And now we have the archers, and you can see men-at-arms at the back. But look how good these archers are doing with the +1 range armor. You can see he's picking off a single archer almost at a time, but he's lost 7, 8, 9 Chukunu, right? Now all of our villagers, this is what I'm talking about. I've brought 13 villagers for basically a white tower death bush. If you had a blacksmith down with a siege engineering, you use all the wood, you get a siege ram down, you come and you siege this immediately very comfortably. So now we have the threat of the outpost, who does not have hand cannoneer slits, which he could have gotten because you have 600 stone. Or just use a market, buy 200 extra stone, pull all of your villagers and put a keep down here, right? So this is not fail-proof, guys. But you can see he's supervising the archery ranges now, so you can just get those Chukunu out at a phenomenal 6 seconds, so he's going to overwhelm me if I don't get this up. But I have the archers forward that's going to deal with this very effectively. And the men-at-arms was sieging down the outpost just in case he was trying to get those upgrades. So immediately the outpost goes, the white tower goes down, and now I have a network of castles all the way to Innie's base. I have the pressure of the white tower, and this is dangerous, guys, because the white tower is a defensive landmark. He doesn't have the Barbican of the Sun to protect us. He only has the town center, and this building has a lot of health, so we don't have to worry about the building going down. We have the archers safely back garrisoned in there, and now I'm like, okay, this is my stone cropping. I'm not going to give you any more stone right now. I don't know how much stone he has, but you can see the only closest stone is all the way back here. He actually transitioned into a deer hunt, which I didn't even know. I didn't even know he transitioned into deer here. But I think for most factions right now, it's quite difficult transitioning into farms. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a cost cut in farms, maybe in the near future. Nice little wall off here, but I mean, in this open map, it's going to be very difficult to wall yourself in. And now you can see with those units garrisoned or rallied with a single barracks and a single council hall, I'm rallying more reinforcements right here at the back. I want to get 2 rams up. 1 ram is not going to be a big threat onto the town center and the Imperial Academy. But with the men-at-arms, I can train the double ram. Now I'm getting my archers out because I know, okay, I'm pressing for a second keep. My men-at-arms needs to get into position right here so I can protect the villagers. The villagers works as a bait so I can pull my archers to force him to use resources. Train more units, as you can see, nice queued up here. And because I'm pushing with the rams, the archers won't do anything against the ram, the Chikunu. So he's pulling villagers, and this is the right call, guys, because either you're gonna surrender, or you can see here he has the cannon upgrades, but doing no damage against these rams. Actually has a clock tower up, but now the men-at-arms are just tanking all the damage right here in front. The villagers are doing a lot of damage, but now you can see his villager count dwindling. 39 villagers versus 59 villagers, so 20 villager lead right here. These longbows are doing so much damage because they have the extra attack speed from the network of castles, and we did get the extra network of castle upgrade, which happens in the castle age. You get that network of citadel bonus, and you can see this keep is right there in range, able to pick this off. If he wants to, you know, push forward, he won't be able to siege this down. It probably would have been good to go for a trebuchet, keep it at the back here and siege this down. But he's in a very difficult position right now because my economy has not been touched, right? And I'm able to take the villagers that we have now with a double keep, a keep and a white tower, you know, that basically do the same amount of damage. And now I'm like, okay, cool. Remember, with your keeps and your white tower, you can train units that work as barracks. And it's a global barracks, meaning you can train any unit, except obviously your Imperial Age units. But now I am going for Lancers, making sure I have a tanky unit that can run down the Chukunu. Right call here, trying to go for the counterweight trebuchet and getting a siege workshop down, but still no market, so unable to trade the food and the wood that he needs to get the resources he needs. It's very important to get that market down, guys, just so you can stabilize and make quick decisions if you need to get a bit of food extra, get a bit of gold extra, sell any excess stone, because right now this 400 stone doesn't mean anything for me. So I'm just making sure I can make this area as defensive as possible. And now you can see how much damage these towers plus the rams that we had did against this town center. You can see, there we go, counterweight trebuchets out. Market actually went down, so he quickly has more resources to train something, but no units coming out, and I'm not sure why, because he has the food and the wood to go for archers, maybe some spearmen, just try get anything out so you can keep the siege from going down. But now I pushed my men-at-arms into position here so I can surround the villagers. Either they have to garrison or they have to come out, and as soon as they come out to siege, we can pick them off with upgraded longbow, veteran longbowmen, complete upgraded men-at-arms with 5 ranged armor and 4 on melee armor. You can see I can just run into his base. At this point I don't even care about the Barbican in the town center anymore. So a very comfortable victory here with the push. It's not perfect, but it is capable. So just scout your enemy out properly and look at what works every specific game. But I think the town center has a lot of value right now. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Please tell me what you think about the playstyle right now. The only faction that I struggle with this playstyle is against the Delhi Sultanate. They go Castle Age and War Elephants, and it's very hard to deal with that. Men-at-arms with the Holy Roman Empire, I'm capable of massing men-at-arms. You just scout them out, make sure you get the barracks down instead of the town center, and get those men-at-arms out ASAP. With 3 barracks, you'll have 20-30 men-at-arms in less than 3 minutes because of that short training time. Okay. Double town center, push it for 5 minutes 50, but if you have to go for a more defensive or a more defensive playstyle where you have to train units or a barracks or so forth, try and get it done before 10 minutes. I think that's very strong right now. And I'll post that video of the Delhi Sultanate that we lost against for you guys as well, to show you how this strategy actually gets countered as well, if it happens to you. But thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next video.